I want to finish up here by just talking about the Bakaya Dibassy signing. This is the first kind of post-COVID addition for Minnesota United, acquired from French League One, now technically League Two because they were just relegated. But he played for Amiens SC, spent 4 years there, tallied 9 goals, 4 assists. He's a left-back, center-back combo, really a flex piece on that back line. Where do you think he fits best with this team, honestly, Eli? There's not much tape to be had on him, but it sounds like he can play both at a pretty high level. Sounds like a vast majority of his experience comes as a center back, but he can play on the outside. Do you see him more in the middle, or does he fit more on the maybe on the left? Is he a starter or depth piece? What are your initial reactions?
Yeah, well, you mentioned the lack of tape, and that's what's been frustrating for me as someone who, when we get a signing, likes to be able to go and maybe watch a couple matches, or at least just a crappy YouTube highlight edit.
Yeah.
I can't find anything on Dibassy. I've frankly got no idea how he actually plays, outside of the fact that he played primarily as a center back in France. He still got minutes, still got starts as a left back there, but he was definitely a center back more than he was a fullback. That said, center back is a really crowded and really strong position for Minnesota United right now. In this MLS's back tournament, we didn't talk about this earlier, but Michael Boxall and Jose Aja have been fantastic, just so good.
Yeah.
And you add, Iko Parra, whether or not he'll come back for the season restart, okay, but he's long term. He's with Minnesota United. He's the MLS Defender of the Year. He'll probably replace Aja in there. That's a fantastic starting three. To kind of rotate between, Brent Coleman, while we haven't seen him in a very long time now. He's a great option too. So there's 4 really solid center backs right there. Do you need to add Dibassy? I don't think you need to sign another fifth center back. Even if he's projected to be a starter, I think you're fine with Opara and Boxall and Aja as that third guy. If I was in charge of making moves for this team, I think left back is the spot where I would look to make a move.
Yeah.
That's not a knock on Chase Gasper. He's played fine. I'm not certain on him. He's fast enough, but he lacks that fullback elite type speed that especially we see from Roman Metner. Chase, he plays super physically, which is fun. Like, that's really fun to watch as a physical type left back. But I'm not sure it's what the team needs all the time. So if Dibassy can bring some pace out on that left side, the only comparison I've seen was from Adrian Heath in the press release, likening him to Roman Metner. If Dibassy is anything like Roman Metner, then this will be a fantastic move. Yeah. Because I think if you offered this team, if somebody said, hey, we can clone Roman Metner but make him left-footed and put him on the left side, you say yes to that right away.
Absolutely.
So if he can be the Roman Metner of the left, that's fine. And obviously that versatility to play 2 positions is great too, because that's part of why, like we talked about earlier, Hassani Dotson's so great, because he can play 8, 6, and right back, right, and maybe even left back. So if Dibassy can come in and play left back or center back, wherever they need him, that'll be good. So again, I think I would personally expect him to play left back, just because that's where I think the opening is. But again, he's a center back too. So frankly, I wouldn't bet on anything in MLS, and I wouldn't really bet on where Dibassy's going to play either. But I'll settle with the left back take.
Yeah, and when I'm thinking about it in terms of just where this team needs depth and where they need another option, left back is, to me, the first position that pops out as arguably the thinnest on this team has, because who do you have behind Chase Gasper at left back right now?
I think
right.
I think you have Noah Billingsley back there, but obviously he's been quiet since joining the Loons. I'm pretty much 100% certain that he's not in the bubble, or hasn't been in the bubble. I guess now they're leaving it. And so, yeah, they need depth, and I would assume Dibassy is a TAM level signing, comes in and starts there, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's just a battle between him and Gasper. But again, certainly good. That's certainly a spot where you want someone else on that depth chart, whether they're starting or backing up Gasper.
Yeah, and I wrote a piece on for zonecoverage.com on who's most affected by this signing, and Chase Gasper is obviously the person at the top of the list, because while he had such a great year last year, earned himself a U.S. men's national team appearance, was arguably one of the best left backs in the league as a rookie. He has not had that same level of play in this tournament. He played well last night, but overall in this tournament and in the season so far, he hasn't really been too much of a factor. Like you said, his speed is an issue. As somebody who likes to come in and press up and provide support in the attack, he does lack the speed to track back and get back to defend counterattacks in that regard too, which is also why we don't see much in the attack from Robin Lod, because he needs to track back and sort of make up for that open space and potentially counter those counterattacks as well. So having a guy like Dibassy, who, if he is like Romain Métanire, could really allow the left side to work almost symmetrical to how the right side operates right now. Because as you've mentioned before, Eli, the right side and the left side of this formation operate almost polar oppositely.
Oh, totally polar opposites.
In terms of Métanire and Finley's, their ability to work together, overlapping runs on the counterattack, Métanire's ability to get into the attacking third and really make a difference and provide solid goal-scoring chances. If you can provide that on the left with a guy like Dibassy, it could help bring more out of your starting left winger and Robin Lod as well.
Absolutely.
That's another reason why I think left back, if he is, a similar Romain Métanire type, as Adrian Heath has said, could be his spot. But playing devil's advocate, I think when you're talking about him as potentially another center back and who can maybe slot in on the depth chart ahead of a guy like Coleman, to have four guys of that caliber in Opara, Boxall, Aha, and Dibassy, and being able to rotate those guys in and keep them fresh for, the dog days, and in a normal MLS season, in the dog days of July and August, could also be a huge plus for this team as well. So I don't really think you can go wrong in terms of where you slot him in, but they are thinnest at left back and could really use another guy there right now.
Well, and Jeremy, I won't dive into this take too much, but dare I say, this might set up a 3-back formation.
Yeah, 3 center back.
You add another center back. A guy like Dibassy who can play center back and left back.
Slot him on the left side of that 3 center back formation. Would almost be perfect, right?
Exactly, but that's a take that I'll save for the Twitter feed.
Fair enough. All right, Eli Hoff, E Pluribus Lunam. Again, look for his update on the academy situation, as there will be a Zoom call between Manny Lagos and former, current, potential academy parents later on this evening if you're listening on Friday. So over the weekend, there will be more on that. Again, epluribuslunam.com. Follow him on Twitter @by Eli Hoff. Eli, I always appreciate our conversations, man. We've been talking a lot lately. We've gotten a lot of face-to-face Zoom time lately.
Yeah, so. I know. We really have. And it's been part of what's been so fun about having this tournament back, that all of a sudden we're just diving into Minnesota United again. We're breaking down pressing and 4-3-3s and 4-2-3-1s and all that stuff. It's so great to have it back, and obviously a pleasure to be chatting with you on the pod today.
The pleasure is all mine, Eli. Thank you so much again. Have a great rest of the weekend, all right?